Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm Rukak, this is Jam Day Warehouse, and today I would like to do some lore predictions. So, in the Phyrexia All Will Be One uh, reveal stream, teaser stream, whatever, they showed us these 10 Planeswalkers and told us that they will all be in the next set. But they told us there's a gimmick. 5 of them will be heroes, and 5 of them will be completed. And I'd like to really quickly go over some of these characters and why I think they may or may not be completed. For some of these, I'll go over the conditions I think that they would be completed or wouldn't be completed. For some of them, I'll say just straight up, I think they're going to be completed. Some of them I'll be like, I think they're safe. And if I think they're safe, I'll try to give a short explanation. If I think they're completed and it's relevant, then I'll take some time on that too. But let's get started. So first up, Jace. Long story short, I think Jace is probably safe. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll say that he's sitting on a 6.5 out of 10 to be safe. Because with the way the narrative has been set up, it's either going to be Jace who gets completed, or it's going to be Vraska. It's going to be one of these two characters, we don't know which. Is WotC willing to kill the Mickey Mouse of Magic? I mean, to this day, they release a Jace, and we're all holding our breath as to whether or not it's going to be the next Mind Sculptor. I remember when Pirate Jace came out that made illusions, and people were like, this is broken. Everyone's going to play it, and it saw no play. Like, Jace sells sets. And for that reason alone, I think that he'll be safe. But on top of that, in spite of that, I know WotC's trying to move in a new direction. And they might be willing to give up the Mickey Mouse of Magic. But narratively, it will have to be either he dies and becomes completed, which honestly, I'd be perfectly fine with a completed Jace, now that his mind has been made whole. But we still don't know anything about his family. See, there's an open narrative arc there that we still need to close before he can leave, which is another reason I think he'll be the one to live and Vraska will die. And I'll talk more about that when we get to Vraska. But one of the two of them, one lives and the other will die. Whichever one depends on how WotC wants to do the narrative. Now, Kaito might not make it. I actually lean towards Kaito isn't going to make it. Because while he is a relatively popular character, his narrative arc has been completed very satisfyingly. And because of that, I don't think that there's much left to do with Kaito. I'm sure they could bring Kaito into other stories and it'll be interesting, but they've already... They did such a good job in Kamigawa with his character. And the story ended with him on such a positive, uplifting note. I don't think there's anything WotC has left to do with his character for an arc. So I lean towards, I think Kaito isn't going to make it. He'll be completed, and he will have a brand new arc. And if WotC does it right, they can give him an arc just as powerful as his arc in Kamigawa over the next couple sets. Especially having Now that we've gone through his whole hero arc, then you can go through a villain arc that mirrors, and it can be really powerful. It can really hit you in the gut. But we'll see what they decide to do. Now, Kaya, I think, is safe. I'm pretty sure this is not a big... I don't think this is really controversial. See, she's WotC's strong female African American character, or African ethnicity character, whatever. She is a very popular character. She's one of my favorite characters in the game. And because of her mass appeal, open storylines, such as we're still having to figure out what's going on with her and was it the Orzhov and Ravnica? We got to figure out what's going on with her and Liliana. We have she has so much left. She's not a dry well. There's so much story that needs to be tied up before she goes away. I think that she's safe. Now, they've already told us that Koth is safe. I really think what's going to happen, he is going to be the one to ignite the Golgothian Silex at the end of the story. And the reason I think this is because his character, he's a Mirren who became a Planeswalker and then went back to defend his home. And so his whole life has revolved around saving Mirrodin. And fighting the Phyrexians. I think that there is no more beautiful way to tie up his narrative than to take the Silex from Karn and tell him that it's his job to save his plane, and igniting the Golgothian Silex and taking his own life to save the plane of Mirrodin. The way that his arc has gone, whether or not they win or lose, he will go down with that ship. There is no life for him after the war. But we know that he's not going to be completed this set. So, no speculation there. Now, Luca, he's a bit more expendable. He has his fans, not a ton. I think that he was a bunted to first character. He was great concept, interesting in theory, but in execution he was done poorly. He's not a very popular character. He's one that a lot of people would not miss at all if he goes. And maybe they can complete him and then give him an actual story. Maybe they can complete him and he gets an actual arc that he has missed for these last couple times that he's popped up. And maybe they can give him the justice that he hasn't gotten yet. I think that he's going to be completed, and I hope that if he does get completed, we get that full-bodied arc that he is deserved. Alright, I'm scared, y'all. I don't feel good about Nahiri. She's my girl. I remember cracking her open in Shadows over Innistrad. I remember theorizing about her after I saw the commander deck where Nahiri the Lithomancer was the commander of the deck. I'm worried. I'm worried that Nahiri's arc has been played out. She has been a hero who lived long enough to see herself become the villain. And her arc has wrapped up nicely. She defeated Sorin. She tried to bring about the end of Innistrad and may have actually done that. And we'll see what happens with Emrakul later. I think that narratively, there's not much left for her to do. And it might be time for this 1,000-year-old Planeswalker, or however old she is, to finally go away. But I think that when she gets completed, she will have one hell of at least a scene in March of the Machines. Nissa, here is my hot take. Nissa has never been a great character. She's had powerful cards if you like fun with lands archetypes. I don't personally. But if you like fun with lands, then she's always had these very powerful cards. She had a very interesting arc when she first released the Eldrazi in Rise of the Eldrazi, where she was a deeply flawed, xenophobic elf supremacist. When she Sig-Heiled her forest, she was an interesting character. But then Wizards didn't want to have that in their game. And I understand it's really hard to have elf fascists in your children's card game in this day and age. I get it. I wouldn't want that controversy either. But turning her into the Mary Sue hippie chick, nah, I'm good. I'm good, fam. Like, y'all can keep your Nissa. And they already showed her starting to become more dark and twisted in Zendikar Rising. And I think that narrative is leading up, like, as she becomes more and more dark, like more and more more and more twisted as a character. I think narratively it would make sense for her anger and arrogance and selfishness to end up getting her killed and completed, and then we can have ourselves a Glissa 2.0. Glissa and Nissa. Who doesn't want to see Glissa Nissa? I believe Nissa doesn't have a chance. But that's me. Based off of the narrative that has been drawn so far, I don't think that she has a chance. Tyvar Kell. We have just started the story of Tyvar Kell. And he's an interesting character. I liked him in Kaldheim. He was a great character in Kaldheim. Had a good card. He's becoming a fan favorite. And I think that alone could give him enough plot armor to survive. But narratively, he's off to go and explore the multiverse as a new elf planeswalker. Whereas Nissa has already explored the multiverse and she has been explored narratively, I think that she has done her arc. I think his arc is just starting. But mark my words, one of the two will die. I think it's hands down going to be Nissa. But if it's not Nissa, then that means WotC pulled their punch and they're going to take Tyvar Kell and leave Nissa. I just don't believe that's going to happen. Vraska. Now, this is the reason I want to do this video. Vraska doesn't stand a chance in hell. She's dead. And the reason being is because of the storyline that's been set up. She has gone through one of the most amazing arcs over literally the last decade and change. Actually, no, last decade. Yeah, last decade and change, because it'd be 2012 is when was it the Return to Ravnica came out. And she's gone through her arc to from an assassin to guild leader. She has gone through her arc with Jace. She's found love and acceptance. But then they put Markov's gun on the table during War of the Spark, where she is now caught. She was caught by the Dimir lying to Niv Mizzet and the other guild leaders about killing Dovin Bond. And the Dimir made it very clear to her that she was in their pocket, and if she would like to continue running the Golgari, she will stay in their pocket. Secretly, the Dimir are in Tezzeret's pocket. I think Tezzeret might attempt to use Vraska as a pawn to better his situation because he wants out. And I think that he might use her, sacrifice the pawn so the king can live. And I think that a major part of this is going to be she also lied to Jace, which has made them more distant as a couple. And I think one of the two has to die because of the story, and because of all the things that she's done to put herself in this situation. I think that she will die as kind of a like a cautionary tale. I think she's going to die, and Jace won't be able to handle it. He's going to see her completed, melt down on the battlefield, and the only thing that saves him is Liliana reigniting that spark of romance that they had, and then we'll have Jilliana again. That will have Markov's gun picked up and fired in the third act. And I think that will be an amazing conclusion to that arc. But that is how I see it going. That's my opinion. And besides, I need this art in my life. This Vraska as a Phyrexian art, yeah, I need that. That's going to be in my collection if that exists, and I need it to exist. I've never needed anything more in my life. Wandering Emperor. I believe this is our last one. Now, if Kaito survives, I think Wandering Emperor will die, but I don't believe that the Wandering Emperor will die. When she first showed up and wore the spark, and was such an interesting, like a mysterious, interesting character that was able to go toe-to-toe with Tezzeret, who was able to take a blow from Gideon and use that to kill just insane numbers of these Lazotep-covered zombies. Finding out that she is the rightful emperor of Kamigawa. She has a brand new card that's amazing, will be played for the next decade in a ton of different Eternal formats. Hell, she even sees Commander play from what I understand because of that flash. Play it whenever someone's attacking with their stupid thing. Just be like, bloop, okay, that's gone. Fan favorite character. Still has plenty of arc to go. We still have to see what happens between her and Tezzeret. We still have to see what happens with her and Kamigawa. I don't think that story is over. We're going to go back to Kamigawa soon. I predict within the next 4 years, we'll be back on Kamigawa. And if we're back on Kamigawa, let's have some Wandering Emperor to close us out. That's why I think Wandering Emperor is safe. So, let's shift back over here. And as I said, I think Jace is safe. Kaito is not. I think Kaito is dead. Kaya is safe. We know Koth is safe. Luca is gone. Nahiri is gone. Nissa is gone. Tyvar is safe. Vraska is gone. Wandering Emperor is safe. Those are my predictions for Phyrexia. All will be one. This isn't even fair. I am still pissed off right now about the whole Fireside Chat debacle. I'm annoyed that they're trying to reprint Reserve List. But you know what? They're about to get a good solid $2,500 of my hard-earned money because I need all of this shit in my life. Congratulations, WotC. You grabbed me by the balls, and I'm going to hand you my wallet come February. Who else is hyped? Who else is hyped? Oh, well, tell me what you think about my predictions. Do you think that I am absolutely insane? Do I have it wrong? Are the characters you think are going to make it that I don't? Are the characters you think are dead who I do think will live? Well, tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because we're going to be going all out for our return to Phyrexia. I'm Lukac. This is JM Warehouse. And until next time, have a good evening.